How's it going, everyone? Sethphir here, and welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video. This is going to be day 24 in the Ultimate Guide series, and we got a bunch of important things to talk about, as well as some performance updates on our girl Frigg and seeing how she's doing in terms of PvE and PvP. So we're going to go ahead and break this video down into a few sections. We're going to talk about the news and the important stuff first. Then we are going to dive into the Speedrun daily checklist, followed by the extra daily checklist. And once we have finished that, we have the after all that section, which contains a few important reminders and long-term things that you're going to want to focus on. So let's go ahead and dive into the news and the important stuff first, and that is going to be that Frigg is performing quite well. I have been enjoying Frigg, to be honest, and I've been running some side-by-side comparisons on Frigg in the Bygone Phantasm, and it is performing about as good as my Volt team is performing. Give or take like 10% or so here or there, but both of the compositions are able to clear the floors, and some of them even do better in some situations. So big shout out to the developers, because they're actually balancing these elements quite closely. So the global version is probably the best balanced version of the game that we've seen thus far, and I think it's really cool that there's a lot of different options for you to play that are viable other than just one supreme comp that beats all, you know what I mean? But this is definitely really nice, and Frigg also has some special tricks of her own, so if you're interested in seeing those, check out my Frigg is Broken video. I released it yesterday. Frigg can fly. Yes, she can fly, so go ahead and check that one out. I'll show you exactly how to do that, and there's a couple other goodies in there for you as well. Then we are going to check out the Road of Strife event, so that is still continuing today. Make sure you guys are getting your star grit, but I heard that this orienteering, this race, might be unlocking. I think some people from the C server had it unlocked because of the time zone difference, so that might be something we will be getting soon, maybe today, hopefully today at noon. If not, maybe a little bit later after that, so you can race your friends. So that's definitely going to be exciting. I'm hoping it does come today. I'll be ready for it as soon as it opens up, and we'll go ahead and check that one and see what happens inside of there. But make sure you're keeping up with this, because there are a ton of materials that you're going to want in here, including red nucleus, mech bird parses for the mount, and gold, and a bunch of other goodies. So these are all definitely things that you want to make sure you go ahead and secure. Alright, once you have done that, let's go ahead and talk about gold chips. I did want to say I've used my gold chips. We did it yesterday on stream. We ran with everybody, so I don't have any of those anymore. We're talking about the ciphers. So the gold ciphers is something you can use after level 55, because once you're 55, you have a chance to obtain legendary gears from boxes. But I used all 10 of mine. I didn't get any legendary gear. I also did not get any legendary SSRs or matrices, so good luck. You know, it's going to be a little bit rough. If you do use them, though, try to use them on Sobek or Lucia or Robark. The reason you would want to do Sobek is because he does have higher drop rates, same with Lucia, and Sobek drops the Crow Matrice, which is pretty good. Lucia drops Shiro Matrice, which is also really good down the line for a lot of supporting characters, and Robark has a little bit lower drop rates, but she does drop the King Matrice, which is one of the things that you end up using anyways. Usually it's 2-piece King, 2-piece Shiro, so that's going to be nice to have. So if you target those bosses, it will definitely be a decent use of your keys. The only other option is saving down the line. When we get the 2.0 stuff, there is like a Frost Interdimensional Dragon that does drop Samir Matrices, so if you really want to hold all out for that, you can, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you get a Crow Matrice or something else, it's just going to be just as well for you. Okay, once we do that, let's talk about weapon materials. Yep, these things right here, these little nano fibers, booster frames, nano coatings, acid proof glaze. I am running so low on these guys, and I still have weapons to upgrade, right? Like, look at my warehouse. I still need to get my Frigg to 110. I need to get my Shiro up, my 0 up. So if you're getting a lot of weapons like me, if you're like putting a lot into the game, it's going to be hard to increase these weapons. So these materials are going to be very important. So just warning, 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 warning. Make sure you target like 3 weapons and maybe focus on 1 extra. So what I'm going to do from now on is just literally target my main 3, my Volt team, and my 1 extra is probably going to be Frigg, and maybe dive into a little bit down here. But I'm going to take a sidetrack to some of these other ones because the materials are starting to get expensive, as we talked about, and it's going to be almost impossible for you to keep up with all of them. And you might be running low on gold as well, depending on what level your matrices are and some of those things. So those are going to be important important factors going into the future. So just be aware that the weapon material crisis is just beginning. It's just starting. It's going to get worse. Every 5 levels is going to get worse. So just keep in mind that you need to be working towards that and making sure you have enough to advance your main weapons. Once you've done that, go ahead and check out the Void Rift today. We do have a new boss. It's Frostbot, your friendly neighborhood Frostbot. Everybody loves to hate on this man, but I'm going to go ahead and take him because he's part of the collection, and you will get 20 Dark Crystals every time you collect a new boss. So I got 3 more to go. Frostbot will be one of these. The other 2, we'll figure out where they are, but eventually we'll get there working towards that goal. So make sure you check that one out. You'll also have another charge of Void Rift, which means that you might be able to get a Legendary Matricy. If you do get one, comment down below. Let me know what you guys get from these things, actually, because I never get Legendary Matrices. Have you ever got one? If so, who did you get? Alright, moving on from that, the PvP season is now active. It's going to be from 12 to 12, and there are a lot of people that are fighting in here with Frigg as well. That's why I wanted to update. Frigg is very strong, actually. Fighting Frigg is like fighting a ghost. It's so hard to see the player because they keep dodging around all the time. So Frigg is quite good in PvP. I'm not sure how good yet. I'm going to sit down and seriously do some grind here today, and I'll let you guys know like a full update on that. But it's definitely pretty interesting. So if you have Frigg, make sure to check her out in PvP. She pairs really well with Nemesis and Meryl, and that's a great and fantastic combo there. Next, we have the Speedrun daily checklist. So let's go ahead and dive into that. The first thing you're going to want to do today is your daily bounties. Once you've got that covered, you're going to hop into the main story if you don't have it completed already, but there is no more main story. We just have a new chapter coming soon, and we're likely to not have anything until Artificial Island comes out. I'm hoping that's at level 60, but we'll see. No new runes today as well, so there's not going to be anything there if you've already done all of yours. And then Mia's Kitchen will be refreshing today. You could save it to do some hard content, like maybe a Frontier Clash or something if you want, or you could just pop it for that experience, but either way, it's 3 of those, so that's about 100k XP. So make sure you claim that before the day's end because they will disappear and roll over. And then you're going to talk about Vitality. So Vitality today for the join operation, we do have the Space-Time Training Ground. So this is going to be Bracers as well as Huma Matrix, which is useful on Frigg, and Samir Matricy. So this is going to be really powerful. This is a good one to do. So if you want to spend some of your Vitality on the Space-Time Training Ground, it is not a bad deal. But remember that level 60 is around the corner. We will have level 58 on Saturday, and then 2 days after that, level 60. So you could probably hold out for that. I would probably focus more on your weapon materials, which are going to come from the Stargates. If you have any 3-star Stargates on the map, especially with like nano coating or booster frame, go ahead and check those out because those will be really nice. And if all else fails you, of course you have the handy dandy Dimensional Trials at rank 4, which will guarantee you one of these from the box as well as the smaller materials. So go ahead and check that one because it will be a good avenue to increase your weapon resources. Once you have done those things, we're going to talk about experience. So experience right now is getting very hard to get. I have 900,000 out of 1,700,000, and I'm almost done for the day. I've done most of my stuff. I have like a Frontier Clash and maybe a Void Rift to do, but that's like 140k. So I'm going to have to hunt some chests. It's getting pretty real out here. You guys are probably heading to Raincaller Island or doing the AFK Frontier Clash normal mode farm. That's really good to do as well. You can get quite a bit of experience, so I know people are loving that one at the moment. And then, you know, we always have the good old 0 AFK B farm overnight, get some extra XP. So those are going to be the great ways and avenues to do that. But personally, I think hunting chests is the best, especially if you have good routes and you're fast at it. If you're able to actively play in the game, if you're looking for something like idly, then you probably just want to go for the Frontier Clash AFK farm, and that's probably the way to go. So then we're going to talk about level 58. That's going to be on Saturday. Level 58 on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming. It's going to be an increased level cap, which is going to help you out, as well as the final day for the Frontier Clash. So you're going to have another Frontier Clash charge on Saturday. So that's going to be a good time to spend all yours before the week so that you can get all your goodies and be as strong as you can for your Bygone Phantasm push. So hopefully you can check out and get towards the top of the ladder, which I will put out a reminder to since today is Friday, you might want to start pushing towards your Bygone, see where people are in your ranks, and then go ahead and start climbing up your ladder, because if you wait too long, you're going to have to do a lot all in one day, and it can take quite a bit of time, especially if you're climbing multiple levels. So take a peek at your Bygone Phantasm ladder and check out and see what you're going for there. All right, next we're going to have the extra daily checklist. So we're going to jump into that. We do have training here, and I want to show you something like a little secret for one of these trainings. I have flight, but I have rhythm training finally for the first time ever. So we're going to go ahead and do the rhythm training, and I'm going to show you a secret with Sethphir. So we're going to pull that out, and we're going to go ahead and activate this, and let's see if we can get this done, or maybe we'll fail it. Who knows? But the secret to this one is you're basically going to go over here to the side and just aim down the line with Sethphir and keep shooting. And if you do this, you're basically a rhythm master. It's like I'm an expert Guitar Hero player, you know? No worries on that one. I think you might run out of stamina at some point, especially depending on your stamina bar. But this is probably going to be the best way to cheese this activity here. It's working for me so far, so we'll see if I can get all the way to the end. But there's a couple other like secrets with like different trainings like this. So if you know anything, comment down below, especially something that's going to help somebody out. I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated, as everybody's just trying to get through these things as quickly as possible and, you know, kind of cash in on their support points and get to the next section. So there you go. You pretty much get all of them. It may vary a little bit if you stand a little bit ahead of the thing or if you're right on the marker. So just go ahead and make sure you're checking in with that and doing that correctly. So once you got your training out of the way, then you'll be going to your daily gifts. So go ahead and open your map and head over to the black market. You can be taking a look at Hopkins, get your free gift there, and then head to Cetus Island and play your claw machine 3 times. Once you have done that, head to Hycros, and then you will do your machine part farm in a little circle. Get those good machine parts so you can use them to maintain your vehicles for free dark crystals, as well as mount color variants, so that's going to be very important to do. So make sure you're keeping up to date with that. Once you have done those things, go ahead and head to the shop and check out the daily supply box area where you can claim a free supply box and then go to the hot section. This is where you're going to buy a 50 dark crystal vitality solution for free to play players. If you're a dolphin or a mini whale, 100 dark crystals, and if you're a giga whale or a leviathan, the 200 dark crystals after that. But that's not me, so we're going to take a pass. Once you have gotten that covered, go ahead and check out the commissary shop and head to the support store. Make sure you have everything for the week, like the chips and the black nucleus. Then you could work towards the gold, which is pretty useful, and you can also consider some machine parts if you really feel like it. But I would probably lean more towards that gold side because we're getting into upgrading a lot of stuff, and you might need it. You might need it. Once you have done those, check out in the world for the elemental ores. They should be all around, and you should be able to collect them pretty easy. The fire, the lightning, and the ice ones, as they give crystals to upgrade your actual gear. So that's going to help you advance your materials and your weapons and increase your CS score. So make sure you're doing that. And then finally, after all of that, we have the weekly reminders for activity. It is closing to an end for the week, so make sure you're getting your weekly activity done. And you got most of these bonuses for the extra gold, the extra materials, all these things covered, so you're doing the variety of options. And then make sure you've claimed everything at the top as far as your battle pass is concerned. Once you have done that, we're into long-term goals. We're talking about mount farming, machine part farming, and of course, achievement points. Because remember, Artificial Island is around the corner, so we do want to get as many achievement points as we can to clear out the old zone before we have to focus on achievements in the new zone. So this is going to be something to do, and it's going to be worth your time at the moment. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on everything, the way the game is going, the pace of it, the experience of it. I want to know what you think. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you found these guides useful at all whatsoever. And that's going to be it for this one. We will see you in the next video.